here's where we're going to get our first look of the hunting grounds from afar, our first glance. First, I'm going to have to go around this ridge line here and stay high to actually get on that hunting shelf. But as you look a little bit closer towards the middle of the screen, you'll see a white rock, and we're going to be using that as reference. That's where we want to put our blind, but that'll kind of keep things straight as we're navigating around this rim here. So I wanted to give a good lay of the land here so you can actually see from above what's going on. You can see on the topography map that if you look kind of left to right in the middle, there is a very mild section with ridge lines above it and below it. And that's kind of the highway that I am looking to hunt this year. Removing the topography, you can kind of see this highlighted area is where I'm looking to scout, and that's where I've got a lot of food as well as water sources for animals. Most of the icons are self-explanatory, but the white ones are where I'm going to be glassing from, and the black ones are where I'm going to be putting my trail cams at some of those pinch points. Looking closer on the right side of the screen, that's where I'm going to be entering the hunting grounds from. You can see as I zoom in, you've got my blue location dot there, and we're going to keep following that as we move throughout. Getting closer to the hunting grounds, this is exactly what I was hoping to see. There's tons of food to forage on, proof right here with all these cows. There's also water down here for them, a little bit of cover, and then you can see these big walls to the sides. And just to give you some more reference, if you remember that white rock we were talking about, there it is up on the hill where I plan to do most of my glassing from. After we scout this first food section, the whole area in the red circle here, we continue down this super highway to our first pinch point where we look to find a good spot to put our first trail cam.
So this is kind of where I want to set up my first trail cam, and it is good. You can see the terrain kind of pinches you right here. There's rocks and a really big wall over on this side. So it's kind of a terrain trap. So I just kind of need to see where it naturally funnels everything. And then if you look where I want to put my blind, the white rock is right there. So it has a really good angle looking down on this whole pinch point right here. So next I kind of want to try to find a trail and see if I can find any tracks or any signs of life and find a good spot to put my cam.
Next, we're going to be moving down to the lower food plot slash water slash open area here to scout that out a little bit and find another spot for my next camera.
Here's the feeding plot and watering hole number 2. Again, kind of chosen because the natural terrain here slopes into this really big open field, lots of food, a little bit of cover over here on the side, and there's water right in the middle. And then just over this hump over here to the left is another pretty decent sized drop off to help this is just kind of like a ledge basically up on this high alpine area that holds a bunch of water. So that's kind of the main things that I was looking for between these two, and this one's definitely, I mean, it's looking really good. This looks, if I was a deer, I'd want to be here. The hardest part is going to be distinguishing. There's, you know, obviously something had bedded right here, but it's right next to a semi-fresh cow pie, so it's most likely a cow that was laying here. It also looks pretty big, so it's going to be a little difficult to distinguish between cows and what I'm after. But if you look over here, there's a little bit more. Things were roughed up. Looks like some more potential bedding. That's a little bit smaller, so this could be could potentially have been a deer. This is probably the most promising first look that I have right here in the middle of this field. This track right here looks definitely two-toed. It looks pretty big. It might be an elk. I'm not 100% sure. I'm gonna take myself a screenshot. No, thank you. But anybody that knows what this is, please let me know. Looks like it could be potentially what I'm after. Have to do a little research. So this is kind of where I had my next pinch point. You can see the wall over there, and it kind of slopes back up and drops over the cliff right over here. So this is where I was looking to put my next cam. There's another food and water source down there. I'm not gonna go scout out, but it just connects all of these. So I was walking around looking for some traffic, and there's definitely been some traffic through here of the two-toed variety. So again, not 100% sure if that's the right track, but these are tracks, and there's definitely traffic going through here up to the water. So I think I'm probably gonna choose a tree around here, probably this one right here, and get my next cam set up.
Next, we're going to head up the hill here to get to our actual glassing point or our vantage point. I'll overlay the topography here. You can see it's all red. It's an absolutely brutal hike up this hill, but it's definitely going to be worth it once we get up there. You couldn't really tell from the satellite images if anything holds fish or anything like that, but this lake was awesome. It's at almost the very top of this mountain here. And from the second I got over the ridge and looked at the water, there were already fish jumping and biting. So really awesome sign to be able to get up this high and still have a chance to catch some fish. You can see here that we are at the lake now, but first we're going to go check out our glassing spots before we start fishing.
I have a pretty good view of this little channel, seeing if anything's coming from that upper food source down into this little gully and water source as well. And then my cam is over there. So if I do see a lot of traffic on that cam and I see that they're coming from a lower elevation, this could potentially be a pretty good spot. But it's got pretty good visibility on this side. From up top, it's a lot easier to kind of see the game trails and things like that. It's a lot harder to see once you're on the ground, so it actually looks like they might be coming in from over there as well. But not a whole lot of visibility onto the other area with all these trees here. So now we're gonna go check out the other potential location and see what visibility is like over there.
And I don't think you see it when you're up here, but this is the White Rock area, the one that we've been using as a reference.
Now this is the one I was more excited about, and I think for good reason. So you can kind of get a good idea of everything here. So what I really like about this one is you can see this whole open area over here. So if something were to come down that gully and move through this, we could see them, and we have a really good vantage point to potentially take a shot from here or stalk down to it. As well as this whole middle section here, we can see right through absolutely everything. That's also, I have my trail cam set up right down there near that down tree. So we'll have a good idea of any traffic that might be coming through there, as well as we get a really good look over here into this side of this field, as well as a bit of the water source. And then my other trail cam is all the way back on that side over there. So if we do happen to see that there's more traffic over there or not, this whole ridge line, there's a couple of different points that you can walk that you get multiple vantage points on this whole kind of lower shelf right here that just seems like a really great pinch point for deer. I have no idea if that's actually the case, but that's kind of what it's seeming like. And so this seems like a great vantage point to be able to stalk, potentially take a shot from up here, but you just have such good visibility on absolutely everything that's going through this entire shelf, as well as the view is not too bad if you're gonna be sitting up here all day. All right, I think this is the one. I'm hungry. So what I'm gonna be using is a daggerfish. It's something that my brother got me a while ago, and it's just a simple fishing thing for backpacking. And whenever you're hunting and you're hiking really far out, every pound really matters, so you can't really bring everything. This is my first time using this, so we'll see how it goes. That was great. That was my best cast yet. Golden retrievers are great at a lot of things. Fishing, not so much. Hey! Oh, fuck. That's not what we wanted. There we go, I got it past her. That's the most important thing. Don't want to hook the golden trout. They're protected by the state. Oh, I got caught. Shoot. Just like that, we have a fish. I actually can't believe that. Looks like a little guy. Wow. Always wet your hand before touching trout. There he goes. Well, my reeling could definitely use some work. Well, we've gotten up here, we've scouted a lot, we've got some cams out, we got a really good lay of the land out here, which is nice. This place up here is incredible. The little lake up here, absolutely bumping with trout. I was unable to secure a decent sized one with the daggerfish. I think we'll probably be able to get one next time. Maybe if the golden trout, the queen of the lake, isn't out there scaring them off, we'll have a better shot. But I think it's about time to pack up and start heading back. It's about 3 in the afternoon or so, and it took me a couple hours to get out here, so I just want to make sure we get back in time. Plus, I got some tired dogs, don't I? Yep, time to get them home. So, we will head back. Definitely a bit of a sketchy scramble to get down here. I'm glad we didn't decide to come up this area, but I was wondering what the purple lines meant on the slope when it came to OnX, and that probably means this. You can see it's pretty steep. Well, the dogs have decided against it. Probably a good call. It's pretty sketchy over there, so we're gonna have to backtrack and kind of cut back to where we came from. Slope's a little bit more manageable over there. Well, we made it down the steep stuff. We got our friends the cows here to greet us. Hi guys. They're not used to our kind around here. It's their territory. We're just passing through. Just passing through. Well, it might not seem like much, but we finally made it back to this path we get to hop on for a little bit, and boy, I'm happy. After that long of uneven footholds and crumbling stuff and accidentally getting into some too gnarly terrain, it's nice to actually have something to follow without thinking too much. So we just passed the little lake back there, our first original checkpoint. Up here, this is the big field, the first field that we came to. Good grazing grounds. So, starting to get back. It's been quite a journey. It's a little bit more strenuous than I'd expected, but I am out of shape. Would be kind of difficult to imagine carrying back a deer's worth of meat by myself doing that, so I might need to get some help on that. I don't know how good the dogs would be packing those out, but I'm sure we could turn them into some pack mules. So we got a little bit to go. Get to stay on this path for a little bit, which is nice. We'll check back in when we get closer to camp. So we come to the point where we have to say goodbye to our beloved path and head back through the woods, do a little bushwhacking. But we're only about a half mile from camp now, which is great. The dogs are tired, I'm tired. Everybody's looking forward to cracking a cold one and chilling by a fire. So we're gonna make our way there, and I'll see you guys when I get back to camp. I'm not 100% sure, but I think that I see the beautiful gleam of a white truck off in the distance. Oh, we're almost there. The dogs, I think, have recognized that we are almost home. And yeah, can't wait. Oh. If that ain't a sight for sore legs, I don't know what is. Whew. Stay tuned. Let me get a little more comfortable. We'll give you a recap.
So all in all, I really like this spot. I think it's a really cool area. It's a great hike out there. The altitude is really high, so the views are absolutely incredible. There's a little fishing lake right there, and you have a tremendous amount of vantage points along that upper ridge line to look down on that lower shelf for any opportunity to get a deer for this year. Some of the things that I wasn't stoked about, I didn't see that many signs of deer in the area. I didn't see any scat. I saw very few tracks. I didn't see any rubbing or anything like that. So we're gonna wait and see what the trail cams show us, see if there's any traffic that would be going on out there that makes me think that there are actually deer in that area. But I did see a decent amount of sign on the way in and out. So I do think this area up here in general does hold deer, just maybe not as high as I was going. But we'll see what the trail cams say, and if I have to change my strategy, then so be it. But overall, it's an awesome spot. If you want to continue to stay with me on this journey, feel free to stay tuned, and I will be posting the trail cam footage as well as my follow-up video as soon as I can get back out there. Thanks, have a good one.